Hello YouTube, Damo_23 here, and welcome back to episode number 90 of the Paris 13 Atletico Save, where we look to do it better than PSG. Today in the French non-league to legend, we've got Manchester United and Real Madrid in two massive games in the Champions League as we look to finish in the top 8 for the first time in the Save. We also have a 4-point gap in the league, and we're going to recap as to why that is now. Since we last met, which was PSG, we had a disappointing draw to Lille. Mercifully, though, PSG then drew to OJ Nice, which kept our 4-point get buffer. And then we beat Celtic in a very even game, kept a few clean sheets, pumped Bohemians with a second-string side. Rennes in another big game we won away from home, but we were much the better side. Had a scare against RC Lens in the Cup, where they scored with every shot on target. Beat OJ Nice in another one of the big games in the league convincingly, and then fully rotated versus Troyes apart from Mokoku playing 55 minutes with Bakayoko to make sure that we did win. Got ahead quite nicely, which means we've got Man United, Real Madrid, and Monaco in the middle, who are in third, and look, probably need to win in order to keep their top two hopes alive. It's a pretty good time to be here. In terms of transfer-wise, we haven't really signed anybody as yet. Haven't been happy with Demirel or Incarte's performances. Incarte's been very hit and miss injured. Not want him to be the number one here. Demirel we did sign to be the number one centre-back with Tosin. Has not been good enough this year. Have played him in a couple of the lesser games, getting some clean sheets, which is all right, but averaging 6.8 in the league. Which means that for today, Diallo is going to get his moment. He is one of those guys. I said it last year. He's so consistent. Every time he plays, keeps a clean sheet. First half of last year was nailed on inside with Inguez. Kept clean sheets. Brought in Tosin to play with Inguez. Yes, things went on very, very, very well. But in saying that, we had, Diallo always played very well. So he's played well in his last 3 league games, where he's gone 7.1, 7.1, 7.4. Came on against Troyes, and then 7.3 here as well against Bohemians. Against Bayern, we're already getting slapped, so that one doesn't really count when I brought him on. But he's very good at what he does. So I'm actually going to play him against Manchester United, which probably highlights the issue. We need a centre-back, or we need a right-back to move Inguez back to centre-back for us to probably go on to win the league this year. If you have a look at midfield forward, we have got a leading player in Ravella. Luis Fernando has been playing out of his skin of late. That is correct. He has kind of been going good form-wise. 8.6, 8.2, 8.5 in his last 3. Developing like a monster. Said he would. He's fantastic. Bakayoko. Maxim's asked the Dosu because he's grown into being a 3.5-star winger and can still develop. And Mokoku's up top, which means I've got leading, and then gets the Canna and the rest, who 3 stars either good or leading in the league. Which means Tosin is starting to decline. He isn't playing his natural position, which is ball playing, but that's because how the game works with ball playing defenders. And Diallo gets in as well, which is great. But in saying that, we have got some moments. We've got some players. Hopefully the bright centre-back comes along. Now, in terms of on the in, we have got one guy, and that is Christopher Nkunku. French, experienced. It allows me to loan out Milos Stupa next year, who will become homegrown at the end of this season, which is perfect because he's still got potential. And he's gone from PSG to Leipzig to City to Inter. He's now on loan at Cadiz, who are currently sitting 5th in the Spanish First Division. So, yeah, that's right. Cadiz have started to become a pretty good side with my boy Victor Church, who I've had on a couple of saves previously at centre-back. And is having a 7.05. Think to bring this guy in, who wants to be a rotation player, still 3-star, to be the backup, centre-mid. Throw him on in games when we need a bit of creativity. On a 1-year deal for 50k a week, I think that's a no-brainer as well. We'll just say financially, we've only got 16 mil to spend, which makes it hard for me to sign a right-back or centre-back of quality. And I'm finding it very hard to sign younger players. I do say moving forward, we need probably a younger centre-middle too, because Ravella's getting to, he's 30 now. Canna's also getting to 30. It's getting to that stage where I probably need to sign, and I've got Nkunku, I probably need to sign a couple of 18-year-olds to develop through. But it is also very hard when your 19s don't play in a competitive league as well. In terms of the team, though, full strength is what it is. Pimbele's on the bench. Icardi, Demirel, Mendy, Salama has had a very good year at deeper lying. Melba. Look, he's young enough that he will be here for a while, but plays the same role as Fernando, so we probably need a more of a younger box-to-boxy sort of midfielder. Bassett, who's got a lot of interest. I am tempted to loan him out next year, but we're having a lot of interest for people to buy him. If I ever get anything over 10 mil, I probably would be close to selling. Beto's had a good year. Dosu's back from injury again as well. Stupa and Areola make up the bench. Let's get straight into it. Let's see how we go. They want me to play in a Karte who scored in his last game as a penalty, but we're not. We're going to get straight into it. In terms of how the league looks, we'll show you when it cuts to it in the in the in-game engine. Man United, though, are in third and we're in fourth. They've got Simon in net, which is fantastic. Pedro Porro, Tom, Morato, and a Croatian that is more of a right back than a left back that looks unreal, though. Lucas is a regen as well. That looks good. Jude Bellingham in the middle. Ruben Neves as well. Sacramento, who we tried to sign, he chose Man United. Rashford at 34 still looks elite. And this guy here up front called Jude Sonsup Bell, who looks fantastic as well. On the bench, they got Savio. People will know who Savio is. People also know who Luke Thomas is. And Neco Williams, fantastic player. Curtis Jones from Liverpool, makes no sense that he's there. Samuel Lino's actually on a free, very, very good at what he does. Tempted to sign him to be a backup winger next year as well if he wants to, but he wants like 100 and something K a week. Here we go. It is Paris Ferdinand and Atletico versus Manchester United. Third versus fourth. You would say the most likelihood for this doubleheader is we're going to lose both games, which probably means we're going to finish outside the 8, but we'll see what happens. In the end, though, we need to go out here and just go at them and see what we can do. They say that a draw's written all over this. We're not going to get the league. I thought the league table would have come up. Doesn't look like we'll. As they walk out, maybe what I'll do is just click on Makoku. Go to Paris 13 Atletico. Go to the schedule and the Champions League if we can. Yeah, as you can see, we're on 13. United's on 15. If we have a look at last year, 16 points was needed to get through. So we're probably 1 win away from getting through. All right. Because there's a lot of teams on 12 and 11 and 10 that probably will get in. But yeah, and we've got to play Real Madrid, who currently sit in 12th. So yeah. So look, even if we lose, it'd be us and Madrid playing off for a spot in this top flight. And we lost 6-0 last time we went there. And we were in much better form defensively last year than this year. Anyhow, it's a Ruud van Nistelrooy Man United versus ourselves. Pedro Porro on the overlap. Cicelo versus Porro is going to be quite a battle, I think, to watch. Good ball into Raglan. Pedro Porro, good touch inside. Jude Bellingham, who's club captain. Great ball over the top. Good ball there towards Bellingham. Fernando's with a block. Oh my God, what are you doing, Inguez? Sacramento heads, Kim will save. Great diving header away from Luis Fernando. And then Inguez headed it straight back to him. They go long looking for Makoku. Not our game style there, Kim, but interesting. Ruben Neves with a good touch. Morato, Jude Bellingham. It's going to be hard to bully this midfield, I feel. Rashford looked offside. He's put one in. Flag's gone up very quickly from the linesman. He looked offside in the match engine. On the bottom of the screen. Flag has gone up. Early warning sign, but it's not a goal, and that's all that's important. Good line. Was it offside? Yeah, the battle of Inguez versus Rashford. Cicelo versus the Porro and Sacramento double up. Going to be interesting. But not a good start with how well they've controlled the game here in the first 12 minutes. But we know that all it needs is a Makoku bit of magic and we can take a lead at any point. The longer it stays 0-0, the better for us. This is another highlight there for Grabovac. Drives inside. Bakayoko wins. Good touch. Still going, Bakayoko. Makoku needs to help him out here. Bakayoko running rings around everyone. Maxine's there. Needs options in the box. Luis Fernando. He cuts it. Bakayoko. We lead 1-0 versus Man United at home. Let's go. What a moment. As things stand, we might be through the top 8 for the first time in our history. Bakayoko ran the length of the field. Nearly lost it in the middle. Maxine, though. Great run. Great ball inside. Luis Fernando's getting into his own. Bakayoko still stayed central after moving so far into the left-hand side of the field. And he slots past Unai Simon. And we lead 1-0. Our first shot has gone in. Rovella headed away. Only as far as Jude Bellingham who heads. Maxime's quick enough to get on there. Good touch. Finds Cicelo club captain. Canna. Tossin. Fernando. Makoku made a run ignored. Bakayoko for a brace. 2-0. Thought Grabovac did enough to put off Bakayoko or get a block in or get a tackle in. In the end, Bakayoko shrugged him off and fired into the top bin. Great ball from Luis Fernando. I thought he was going to play Makoku. Great weight of ball. Looked like he was going to put his foot on it. It was Grabovac. In the end, he didn't, and Bakayoko made him pay as he fires top bin. 2 shots, 2 on target, 2 goals. Out of nowhere, we lead 2-0. Corner, cleared away only as far as Ruben Neves. He's fantastic on the ball. Tom Crabb, Pedro Porro, Jude Bellingham. Diallo gets away, Maxine thumps only as far as Morato. Grabovac, Ruben Neves, great ball out to Sacramento. Cicello will win, but he heads it straight back to him. I hate that highlight. Inguez could have left it for Kim, but apparently not. Tossin wins the tackle. Makoku needs to help him out here by going line. Makoku does. Here goes Makoku, running at people, which is what he loves to do. Turns around, has got options inside, still goes himself, and then flies is wide. Good moment for us on the break. Couple of those headers, the graphics of the back end are just not talking to each other because they're 2 balls that could be left for goal kicks or a keeper and they head them away. Or they could take a touch. Especially to Cicello one. I don't mind Inguez heading it, but he should always head it back to his keeper. His keeper should give him a shout to leave it. Anyway, Inguez on a run here. Not like him to get that high up. Usually sits the more out of the centre-backs. But Cicello is in the right spot. Wins the header. Maxine now. Goes on a run. Ravella. Tackle. Wins it back. Ravella. 3-0. We'll take it. Right on half-time. A mistake by Man United. And we lead 3-0 versus Manchester United, who are one of the best teams in the world in this save. This is a bit of a shock. With this performance, do we ever believe we're winning it this year? If things stay as they are, which hopefully they do, we're going to finish inside the top 8. Into the dressing room. We've done brilliantly. Start the second half. Let's go. 48 minutes played. 3-0. Cicello, Luis Fernando. Goes on a run. Still going. Hits it and over the bar it goes. 50 minutes played. And away we go. Pedro Porro, corner. Headed over the top by Morato. It's been a very, very, very good performance so far. Corner, down the other end now. Ravella. Diallo's a big boy. He heads over. I have to say, every time Diallo plays, I don't know, but it's only 60 minutes in, we do look way more defensively solid than we have today. 67 minutes played. I don't like making changes in the game where we're performing so well. Cicello, Luis Fernando, big switch out to Inguez. Bakayoko made a good run and then pulled away to give Inguez room to run into. Bakayoko now comes to it. Makoku, Maxine's offside, don't even worry, boys. Would love for it to be 4-0, but he's obviously offside at the back stick by about like this much. But it was a great finish from the Wonder Kid. He's offside by about this much. It's 4-0, we're in dreamland, but... Sorry, what? There's a guy... I thought that this was the last defender. There's a guy back here that's kept him on. Morato's kept him on because he's standing and not in line with everyone else. In the end, Maxine first time. What a finish. Makoku, what a ball. It's 4-0. Thank you very much. We can celebrate. It's Morato that's kept them all on. Still looks... no, it's the guy at the back here. Grabovac who kept them all on. 69 minutes played. We're up 4-0 up. Naki Williams Jr. Goes on a run. Hits one. Kim with a good save. Look, I didn't think I was going to be saying this, but Beto on for Makoku because the game's over. Dosu on for Maxine because the game's over. Bessett on as well. Fernando's had a stormer. Melba Lie on. And Salama in as well. Thank you. The reason why I'm doing that in the 71st minute, make 5 changes is unless Man United pull off one of the biggest comebacks of all time, we're going to win. And now it's about me rotating people for the Monaco game because we need them to be fit. I don't want to particularly rotate the back 4. They deserve a clean sheet here, which, you know, FM's a big fan of conceding goals. So, yeah, and here it is. Here's the goal. It doesn't like giving us clean sheets this year. So here's the goal, which is unfortunate because the boys deserve it. Great ball there. What a tackle from Tosin. Gets back block over the bar to keep the clean sheet alive. That should have been the highlight. Savio, who's an outrageously good player. There was a moment where Bakayoko looked like leaving. We were going to go for him before he moved to Man United as well. Ball in back stick. Dosso heads away. Barring something coming from this throw, and we're going to keep a clean sheet and win 4-0 versus Man United, which I cannot believe. Is it me or did Man United win one of the latest Champions League? I know Bayern won the Champions League last year after we drew 2-2 to them and they slapped us 5-0. I reckon United won the Champions League before. That is a 4-0 outrageous performance. Well, we've definitely have outperformed the XG there by a mile and what the game was. It was a bit more even than what it was, but every one of our big players stepped up. Bakayoko, Fernando, Luis Fernando, who loves a big game. One of the reasons we signed him. Diallo, Tosin, Iguez, and Cicelo were outrageous. Kim made a numerous amount of saves. Maxine and Mokoku linked up for a goal. Ravella, yet again, are outrageous. That's going to put us clean into that's 16 points. You're on fire. Apparently got an achievement. What was the achievement, please? You won 10 consecutive matches. Nice. Includes beating Man United, which puts us on 16 points, which technically means because Real Madrid can catch us on 7. City are yet to play. We're not home in a hose, but 13 points was enough last year to get out the group. I would be very disappointed that 16 wasn't. But we'll wait and we'll see. We got Real Madrid next, knowing that at least 1 point against Madrid definitely secured a knockout berth. But, yeah. Unbelievable. An extra 2 mil in the club, which, look, that might not sound like a lot, but when you're hemorrhaging money in France, that is a lot of kitty. And we'll see these guys in a second for Real Madrid after we play Monaco in a very big game in the league. Here we are, the final match day. And we have Real Madrid on the final day on the Champions League. We're going to start with what the league table looks like first and talk about ourselves here in a second because a few things have happened. As you can see, we're on 16 points. We're on the same points as Milan as well. Chelsea have already played on an 8 or on 15. On 8 or on 15, PSG win, they get inside of us as well. Benfica are a team that can jump us. And then you've got Porto and then Madrid that could also do it. Now, Madrid play us. If they beat us, they're going to jump us, right, on goal difference. Benfica is the other one we need to watch out there for. They're playing Bayer 04 who need a win to get in to the top 24. So that's a big game there and maybe should be something that we can look at. PSG are about to slap up Stuttgart, so they're going to jump us too, which kind of puts me in a position where we probably need a point to make it out of the 8, which if you have a look at last year, 16 points was enough for a couple of sides, and a couple of sides missed out. This year, 16 points is not going to be enough for probably Milan and ourselves, or Chelsea, and yeah, look, it would be very, very tough. But if we draw here, we're in a very good spot. If we draw, we actually jump into on goal difference. So a point here would be massive. Now let's talk about ourselves. We played Monaco. We dominated Monaco. We drew. PSG won, which means that we are now only 2 points clear. We had a goal disallowed for offside, which was very close, but was offside. Mokoku, though, for the first time since being a Paris 13 Atletico player, has picked up an injury. He's out 4 to 5 weeks, which means he's out of this game. Had the option to give him an injection, but it means he would have been out for about 6 to 8 weeks. I decided to take the lesser route of injury because we've obviously got some games in the league we want him back for to win this title. And obviously the next stages of the Champions League as well with knockouts. With that being said, we played very well. Diallo and Tosin yet again keeping a clean sheet together. Just wasn't our day. Fernando had a pretty good game. People forget he is natural up front. That's where we are going to play him today, is we are going to put him up front as an advanced forward on the last man to see what he does up top. And I am going to move Mel Belai back into the middle of the park because he loves a big game and he loves playing in there. So we are going to do that too. With that being said, that is it in terms of the team. The rest of the team picks itself. Iguez, Tosin, Diallo's as well. But we do have a couple of people upset. Firstly, Diallo, we've been rejecting bids of 4 mil, 5 mil, 4, you name it. Then Raul San Sebastian came in who signed Yeptas from us. And we rejected 10. And Diallo turned around and said, hang on, they're top 4 in Spain. And they're going to give me a star player, an important player. Can I be a star player? I said yes. He is probably odds on our most informed centre-back at the minute and our best centre-back at the minute. And there's a world where he's developing into a first-choice centre-back. So we are going to give him a star player for now and then look to reduce that over time. He's such a good backup centre-back I'm happy to give him a star player for the rest of the season and then drop him back down over time, which I think would make a lot of sense and he should be happy with. On top of that as well, Bakayoko, another one. Look, he's already an important player. Liverpool came in for 64 mil. I rejected it. He kicked up a stink. I said, look, I'll make you a star player. He said, still not happy with that. I want to go to Liverpool as they play in a better division and have better players, which is fair enough. I told him, look, they give me 93 million, we'll sell. I wouldn't even want to sell for 93. There's probably a way would Liverpool come back on deadline day and offer 93. And that puts me in a really, really, really weird spot where I don't have anyone to really bring in on the right-hand side. There is a guy called Diaby who's French, who I would sign from Barca if he wanted to come for 3.7 as a stopgap on the right, but we would need to find someone. Not a guy I'm interested. The only reason why I'm happy for Bakayoko to go for 93 is I would then scout and use that money to sign a right back and another centre back. So then we have a star-studded back four for the foreseeable future. Definitely guys that are on the other side of 25 and younger. When I'm getting to that sort of side of things, there is a couple of maybe right backs that are a bit older that I would love to sign as well. That may be hard to sign on deadline day, but for next season. Outside of that, the rest of the team is okay. We obviously have lost Mokoku. Bakayoko's upset. Diallo's not particularly happy, but I've offered him a star player role, which he's happy with. Rest of the team, a little bit disjointed. Now, Real Madrid did beat us last year. You would have seen when we looked, at Nkunku that these guys are top. They are flying. Somehow in the Champions League, they lost to Inter 1-0, which is the big result, and they lost to Porto as well. So hopefully they don't rock up. You would have remembered last year in having our best year defensively, they slapped us 6-0 in Spain. Be interesting to see how we go. Look, all I'm going to say is Luis Fernando, very good player. He's playing in his natural role up top. Let's see what he can do. Let's go out there and exact revenge. A point will be good enough, but we are going to go out there and try to win. This Real Madrid side is pretty good. Pereira up front. Tushamendi's still there. Elise's there. Camavinga's there. As well, Scalvini's at the back as well for people that know. So it's a very good Real Madrid side. A point's good enough. A win's not bad. And then, yeah. Let's see what we can do. Away we go. Away we go. Evening drop there. Good to see you. Melbourne wins a tackle. Tushamendi wins it back. We just beat Man United 4-0 a week ago. Melbourne gets a tackle. Fuchs back to him again. They've won the ball back twice already. Casello with a tackle. Kim. Thumps one looking for Luis Fernando. Doesn't get on that. Tushamendi. Camavinga. Great from Ingles. Bakayoko needs to bring it under control. Doesn't. Ingles needs to win and does. Bakayoko, good touch. Wheels around. Fernando made a run. Ignored. Didn't find him. Ball goes long. Elise, what a touch. Pedro Pereira going on a run. Holds it up. Elise's in great form. 1-0 down. Is that the goal that sends us out of the Champions League top 8? How's it going? Not too bad. If we get a point here, drop bear, we're going to make it out of the top 8 for the first time in the league phase in the Champions League. And yeah, we've been on and off with rain. We had the club that we're playing against cancel cricket on us very early. We've only had 4 mils of rain, but it's been sporadic rain that their grounds like, I can't get a pitch up. And we need to beat them to make finals because they're ahead of us. 3 games to go, but beating them would be a big step to make finals because they're the team we're chasing. Credit to their actual team as they turned around and said, look, we've had a couple of guys look down at the pitch. It's wet, but it's might be okay if it doesn't rain overnight. Don't just say it's cancelled. So we filled it in 2 sides, and it looks like we're going to go down there to have a look tomorrow. But if it rains, we're pretty much off. Which is fair credit to them because they could have just turned around and said, oh no, their curator said, nah, it's just a draw or whatever, and that suits them well. But yeah. Anyway, back to FM wise, Tosin wins a header. Ravella ain't going to win that. Tosin does well. Bakayoko. Thumps one looking for Luis Fernando. He ain't going to find him. We've struggled to get on the ball. But it is what it is. Breno Pereira. Ingles. Kim. Clears. Maxine's in here and he's quick and he's away. Maxine, the wonder kid. Good save from Turbin in net. Would have loved it. Yeah, ground we're playing out doesn't have covers, which is annoying. Ravella, no one wins the header, unfortunately. Melbourne heads, Diallo, given away. Oh, we've got someone knocking on the door. Hello? Not bad, thanks, mate. Oh, wow, that's come quick. Give me 1 second, mate. Thanks, mate. Thank you. Thank you. Have a good one, mate. Oh, I'm never ordering there again. I said to give me the small for the seafood and give me your largest pizza for the fucking lot, and they didn't even give me their largest pizza. Fucking idiots.
How much did it cost you?
$45 for those two. Yep.
Well, tell them. You're not that hungry anyway.
Just double check that they're correct.
This has got mushrooms.
Well, if it's the lot, then that's correct.
I don't know if that's the lot.
Yeah, looks like the lot. Got everything on it. Your seafood's correct, so look, that must be the right order, but that is disgustingly expensive. That came way too quick as well. It said 45-minute wait. I reckon they stuffed up. I reckon they stuffed up my pizza order. Sorry, YouTube. I've had pizza come half an hour earlier, and it's not the sizes that we ordered, but it's the right food. So yeah, interesting. Anyway, let's go and just finish off this episode here quickly. Still 1-0 down. Do apologise.
No! Down!
50 minutes played. Away we go.
Down!
Cunner, Inguez. That's offside. I don't know why you're playing that.
Down.
Camavinga. Good from Cunner. Need a good ball here. Fernando. Melbourne is onside. If he gets there, hits the post. Well left by Maxine because he really could have gone for that and he was massively off. Big moment. We've actually played really well here tonight, but we just haven't had the moments. Turbin goes long. Headed down to Bruno. Well done, Tossin. Falls back to Elise. Pereira's onside. Need Kim big time. He hits the post. Okay, two big moments. Who did you go with there, Drop Bear? He's apparently got a big club deal. Right, Luis Fernandez had a not bad game. Melbourne hasn't done much. I'm actually going to keep Luis Fernandez on there. Beto's up front. Maxime off. Tosu, who's now more in form to that. Hector Inguez is dead. Actually going to bring Timothy in as a fullback on attack. Few changes. No taking Inguez off is a big move, but it's a more an aggressive move. Football manager, really? Have not made one mistake playing out at all, and Kim's borderline world class. And that happens. So we're not going to finish in the top 8 because of this. Yeah, let's kick it to their striker. Sure. That is utterly stupid. And we need a new keeper, huh? Dropbear's got him at Bayern Munich. Nice. Good move, mate. That's all but over. Move us into the 4-2-3-1. See what happens, just in case something does happen out here. Don't deserve that at all. Did not deserve to lose the game 2-0. Not like that. And that puts us out. Now, how far out are we? 2 goals. It's not a pumping. Finished on 16 points, but because Real Madrid beat us, we're out. There you go. Look at that. 16 points. Normally enough just to get you to sneak into the 8, and we finish out in 10th. Ouches, ouchie, ouchie. If that goes in, the Melbourne chance we hold on and that mistake doesn't happen, we're in. PSG obviously ended up winning as well. We finish in 10th. That's as close as we're going to probably get without not getting in. It is unfortunate. Send the assistant, and there we go. Next episode is going to be the draw for that, and see what happens. At least we're still 2 points clear in the league. Very annoying. Just yet again, FM23 proving why it isn't a great game this year. And why a lot of people aren't enjoying it with highlights like that. That makes no sense at a world-class level. When's the last time you've seen in a Champions League game with everything on the line where you pass the ball to their striker inside the 6-yard box when you're the keeper? I haven't seen that on many FMs at all. And on the one that's meant to have the biggest upgrade to the match engine. And there are some good parts of it. That's happened. Anyway, see you guys next time. Thank you and goodbye.